What if the camera stopped rolling, and what happened next was a real-life horror story?
Christina got shot, Christina Grimmie.
Some were gunned down in cold blood. Others were stalked, hunted, or betrayed by someone they trusted.
And the murders of director and actor Rob Reiner, his wife Michelle.
These weren't accidents. These weren't illnesses. They were targeted, taken, murdered. This is the haunting reality behind these celebrities were brutally murdered. May 28, 1998, Encino, California.
Sense of vulnerability if fortune took a turn for the worse, and you live with the awareness that anything can happen.
In the early morning darkness inside his multi-million-dollar home, 49-year-old comedy legend Phil Hartman was asleep. His wife, Bryn Omdahl, had returned from dinner with a friend, where she had been drinking. An argument erupted between the couple, a recurring theme in their volatile marriage, fueled by Bryn's jealousy and struggles with cocaine and alcohol. After the fight, Phil went to bed. Around 3 a.m., Bryn, under the influence of alcohol, cocaine, and the antidepressant Zoloft, entered the master bedroom with a .38 caliber handgun. She fired 3 shots at her sleeping husband.
Mr. Hartman had been dead for a while. He did not die at the same time that Mrs. Hartman apparently killed herself.
The first bullet entered between his eyes, the second struck his throat, and the third hit his upper chest. He died instantly. Bryn then drove to a friend's house and confessed.
Continuing robbery homicide will conduct a very thorough investigation. They will talk to the neighbors, they will talk to all witnesses and try and find that out.
When they returned to the Hartman home and the police were called, Bryn locked herself in the bedroom. As officers escorted the couple's 9-year-old son from the house, they heard a single gunshot. Bryn had placed the barrel of a different gun in her mouth and pulled the trigger, ending her own life. June 10, 2016, Orlando, Florida. 22-year-old Christina Grimmie, a YouTube sensation and finalist on The Voice, had just finished her performance at the Plaza Live Theater. She was at a meet and greet, signing autographs and taking photos with fans. In the line was 27-year-old Kevin James Loibel, a man who had developed a dangerous, obsessive infatuation with the singer. He had undergone hair transplants, LASIK eye surgery, and adopted a vegan diet to lose weight, all in a delusional attempt to win her affection.
My favorite part, though, of tour has been meeting everyone from all these different countries.
That night, he had traveled from his home in St. Petersburg, armed with 2 9mm Glock handguns, 2 full magazines, and a large hunting knife. When he reached the front of the line, Grimmie greeted him with open arms. He responded by pulling out one of the handguns and shooting her once in the head and twice in the chest. As Grimmie fell, her brother Marcus immediately tackled Loibel to the ground. During the struggle, Loibel broke free, put the gun to his own head, and fired, killing himself instantly. Christina Grimmie was rushed to the hospital but was pronounced dead shortly after arrival. January 15, 1947, Leimert Park, Los Angeles. A mother pushing her child in a stroller noticed what she thought was a discarded mannequin in a vacant lot. It was the naked, mutilated body of 22-year-old aspiring actress Elizabeth Short. Her killer had performed a hemicorporectomy, severing her body at the waist with surgical precision.
The kind of person that perpetrated this crime was what I would call a sexual sadist.
The corpse had been drained of all blood and meticulously cleaned. Her face was slashed from the corners of her mouth to her ears, creating a grotesque Glasgow smile. There were cuts on her thigh and breasts, where entire portions of flesh had been sliced away. The body had been posed, with her hands over her head and her elbows bent at right angles. Despite a massive investigation by the LAPD and dozens of confessions over the years, the murder of the Black Dahlia, as the press nicknamed her, remains one of America's most infamous and haunting unsolved crimes. The level of mutilation and the surgical skill involved suggested a killer with medical knowledge, but every lead ran cold, leaving only a gruesome legacy of horror.
Well, if you observe what's going on and try to figure out how people are thinking and determine the times of your day.
December 11th, 1964, Los Angeles, California. Sam Cooke, the 33-year-old king of soul, was shot to death at the Hacienda Motel, a seedy $3 a night establishment. The official story, ruled a justifiable homicide, is bizarre. Cooke had checked in with a 22-year-old woman named Elisa Boyer. Boyer claimed Cooke was attempting to rape her, and she fled the room, accidentally taking most of his clothes with her. Enraged and wearing only a sports jacket and one shoe, Cooke stormed to the manager's office, believing Boyer was hiding there. He broke down the door and confronted the manager, 55-year-old Bertha Franklin. Franklin claimed Cooke attacked her, and she shot him 3 times in the chest with a .22 caliber pistol in self-defense. She also beat him with a broomstick. Cooke, with his last breath, reportedly said, "Lady, you shot me." Many of Cooke's friends and family never believed the official story, suspecting a conspiracy.
Whereupon she grabs some kind of a large stick, and it was a large broom handle or something, and she proceeds to beat him until he collapses.
They questioned why a wealthy superstar would be at such a cheap motel and why he would act so erratically. The case remains shrouded in mystery and suspicion. July 2nd, 1994, Medellin, Colombia. Just 10 days after scoring an own goal that contributed to Colombia's elimination from the 1994 FIFA World Cup, 27-year-old defender Andrés Escobar was murdered. After returning to his home city, Escobar went to a nightclub with friends. In the early morning hours, as he sat alone in his car in the parking lot, he was confronted by a group of men. They argued with him, mocking him for the own goal. Escobar insisted it was an honest mistake. As the argument escalated, 2 of the men pulled out .38 caliber handguns. They shot Escobar 6 times. According to his girlfriend, who was on the phone with him during the attack, the killers shouted, "Goal! Goal!" after each bullet, a chilling mockery of a soccer announcer's call.
We are very sad because we cannot understand how passion can then go or derivate into murder.
The murder was widely seen as punishment for the own goal, which had allegedly caused heavy losses for powerful gambling syndicates tied to drug cartels. Humberto Castro Muñoz, a bodyguard for cartel members, confessed to the killing and was sentenced to 43 years in prison, but was released after serving only 11. August 27, 1979, Mullaghmore, County Sligo, Ireland. 79-year-old Lord Louis Mountbatten, a British Royal Navy officer, statesman, and the last Viceroy of India, was on his 29-foot fishing boat, the Shadow V. He was on his annual holiday with his family. Aboard the boat were his daughter Patricia, her husband John Knatchbull, their twin 14-year-old sons Nicholas and Timothy, John's mother Doreen, and a 15-year-old local boy named Paul Maxwell. Unbeknownst to them, the IRA had planted a 50-pound radio-controlled bomb on the boat the night before. As the boat cleared the harbor, the bomb was detonated. The explosion was catastrophic, tearing the wooden boat to shreds. Mountbatten's legs were almost completely blown off. He was pulled from the water alive but died before reaching the shore. Nicholas Knatchbull and Paul Maxwell were killed instantly. The Dowager Lady Brayborn, 83, died from her injuries the following day.
It's to the bodies that Earl Mountbatten and the 15-year-old boy, Paul Maxwell, took the brunt of the blast on last Monday.
The IRA immediately claimed responsibility, stating they had assassinated Mountbatten for his role in the British establishment. IRA bomb maker Thomas McMahon was the only person convicted of the murders.
But it's a combination of all the different kinds of music that I learned.
August 12, 1984, Los Angeles, California. Lenny Breau, a 43-year-old guitar virtuoso revered by legends like Chet Atkins and George Benson, was found dead in the swimming pool of his apartment complex. Initially, police suspected an accidental drowning, a plausible scenario given Breau's long history of drug and alcohol abuse. However, the coroner's report revealed a more sinister truth. Breau had been strangled. The autopsy found hemorrhaging in his neck muscles consistent with strangulation, but there were no external marks on his body. The case was ruled a homicide, but it remains unsolved to this day. Suspicion fell on his wife, Jewel, who was the last person to see him alive and gave conflicting accounts of the events leading up to his death. She claimed they had argued, but denied any involvement. Without sufficient evidence, no charges were ever filed. The murder of the man Chet Atkins called the greatest guitarist who ever walked the face of the earth remains a mystery, a tragic final note in a life of brilliant music and personal turmoil.
this, using drugs, it being so temporary, the fix, then going back into a place for months on end, then getting out and just, rinse, wash, repeat.
This being my life.
December 15th, 2025, Brentwood, Los Angeles.
The Los Angeles Police Department is now conducting an investigation at this residence here on Chadbourne, and that investigation will continue over the coming days.
The brutal double murder of acclaimed 78-year-old director Rob Reiner and his wife, photographer Michelle Singer Reiner, 70, sent shockwaves through Hollywood. The couple was found dead in their upscale home, having suffered multiple stab wounds. The crime scene was discovered by their daughter, Romy, who had gone to the house after being unable to reach her parents. The primary suspect was immediately identified as their 32-year-old son, Nick Reiner. Police reports indicated a history of trouble for Nick, including struggles with drug addiction and a reputation for a volatile temper.
And what I learned is that I know my son better, my wife knows my son better than experts.
Sources close to the family revealed that Nick had been in a heated argument with his parents just hours before the murders. He was arrested later that day and charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder with special circumstances. The case painted a grim picture of a family torn apart by internal demons, culminating in an act of patricide and matricide that ended the lives of 2 beloved Hollywood figures. They were admired by millions, but behind the fame was a danger no spotlight could expose. Some of these cases still leave behind unanswered questions. Others serve as grim reminders of how quickly success can turn into tragedy. Do you think justice was truly served in every case? Or are some killers still out there? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like this video if you want us to cover more chilling celebrity cases. For more stories that blur the line between fame and fear, make sure you're subscribed. Thank you for watching.